here we have some more people coming. We have also today some Francophone and Hispanic speakers. So we're going to, I'm going just to give you a quick hello. Bonjour à mes amis francophones. Ces webinaires, c'est en anglais, mais nous allons faire des différents webinaires aussi en français dans un futur. Et si vous aimez bien les webinaires, vous pouvez toujours inviter vos amis et vos collègues pour nous joindre. Alors, bienvenue au webinaire. Et je pense qu'en 2 minutes, nous allons commencer avec le métier How to create an event in 30 minutes. I'm also going to say hello to all our Spanish speakers. Hola a todos, espero que vayan muy bien. Vamos a hacer este webinar que es en inglés de cómo crear un evento en 30 minutos. Próximamente también estará en español y esperemos que les guste. Okay, so not to give many more delays, we are going to start our presentation. By the way, we are on Facebook Live too, if you want to share the link on Facebook to any of your friends. So right now I'm going to start showing you some of my screens so you can take a look at our platform. Right. So as I was telling you, welcome everybody to Eventtia Webinars. We're very happy to have you here. And we're going to speak about how to create an event in 30 minutes. I am Santiago Castillo, the Customer Success Manager for Eventtia, and I will be your host today. And I will explain you our structure for today. So first of all, we're going to speak about the webinar structure, about what I'm telling you right now. We're going to see why and how to configure multiple attendee types, how to create an effective registration form, and how to generate attendee badges, how to set up an event schedule with speakers, activities, and points of interest, and how to design an attractive event website, and how the online registration works from the point of view of my attendees. And then we're going to have some time for a Q&A time, so you can make any questions that you have. Remember that you can make the questions through the Q&A space or through the chat. And then we're going to make some conclusions about all of this process. So brace yourself and be ready to learn about Eventtia. We're going to do the process of creating an event in 30 minutes. Right now it's 10:05 a.m. So I'm hoping that at 10:35 at this time, which is Central Time, probably in your countries it is another time, but I'm thinking that in 30 minutes we're going to have everything done. So you can see how quickly it is to actually manage events with Eventtia and how it can help you out. Right before starting in Eventtia itself, I would like to make you some polls. So first of all, I would like to know, how did you hear about the Eventtia webinars? I'm going to launch that poll, and I hope that you answer it right now. So right now we are having a poll about how did you hear about the Eventtia webinars? I would like you to answer right now. Was it by the email? Was it by a work colleague? Was it by the Eventtia team? Or was it on the Eventtia webpage? And perhaps it was by social media. I'm expecting your results. We still have some attendees that we have remaining for both. All right. I'm gonna show you our results. So most of you did it by the Eventtia webpage. That's really cool. You can see it now. We have some colleagues coming from inviting the others. We have the Eventtia team inviting, and we also have Eventtia webpage. All right. And I would also like to ask you about what type of events do you make? Today we're going to make an example of an academic event, but I still want to know whether you make corporate events, networking events, academic events, commercial events, or other type of events. So I can give you some examples during the webinar, and so we can also plan some other webinars with, for instance, corporate events or commercial events. So I'm waiting for your responses. I'll give you some more seconds for you to vote. All right, I'll give you 10 seconds more. Vote now. That's good. We're a good democracy. Everybody's voting. All right, so we finished the poll. I'm going to show you the results. So now we have some people that make corporate events, some others that make networking events, some others that make academic events. As you can see, we have variety. So, and finally, the third poll, so we can start. Have you used another event management software before Eventtia? There's plenty of events management software. Have you used some before? Or is Eventtia your first event management software? Right. We're still remaining some people. Okay. Some more voting. I'm going to close in 5 seconds. There's 1 or 2 persons that are still missing. All right. So we have around half and half. Some people have used an event management software before, some haven't. So I will like to show you how do we actually work at Eventtia and why Eventtia is better. All right, so right now you're seeing my webpage in Eventtia. So this is Eventtia home basically, which is eventtia.com. If you already signed up, then you will have to log in. If you haven't signed up, then you have to sign up and just put your information, and then you go into login. Once you're into login, you'll be in a web page like this. You put your username and password, and you enter Eventtia. We're doing this right from scratch. So you click on new, and you will start creating a new event. So let's create a new event. So let's say this is an academic event. We are having an academic event that will happen tomorrow from 10 a.m. To Thursday at 6 p.m., let's say. So we have a long academic event. And we are located in the United States. We are located in New York. So you can search for New York, and then you select the city. So in this case, we are in New York City. So we search for New York City, New York here. And then we can just put here an address. Let's say our event is at the Rockefeller Center. We're kind of fancy. You can put a logo, which can be easily put here. You just select the logo and that's it. So here we have a logo for our academic events, and you can also add a banner, which I already added right now. You can determine whether your language is English, Spanish, or French. In this case, we're going to make this event in English, and then we're just going to put the name of the event. So I'm going to say that we're making the academic event 1. This would be our event website. And I told you we are doing everything on the Rockefeller Center. So Rockefeller Center, New York. Yeah, we're there. You can put a brief description here of your event. You can also enter keywords. So let's say our keywords are New York, academic, and event. So this would be good for the search engines such as Google or Bing. You can put the sender name. In this case, I want to send it as webinars Eventtia, and my email, which is webinars@eventtia.com, and I save it. So right now I just created the actual profile for my event. Okay, we're going to put this academic event too, since we already have one name that's academic event. So I'm going to save, and now I just created a whole new event. I'm going to go to this little pencil and go to settings, and here I will be able to determine the different systems, so date, time, measuring system, etc. I can speak about the currency and the VAT, and I can integrate the different payment platforms. We have Stripe, PayU, Cash Flows, and PayPal. It's very easy to put the keys, and then you just save, and you will have that already, set it up. And then once you have the general configuration done, you can come here to the dashboard, and you will be able to see the different information about the attendees, the sales, the stand sales, the schedules, meetings, etc. So then the first thing that you have to do, and this is really, really important, is to create attendee types. Which type of attendee types? In this case, we're making an academic event. So I'll just say that we have two types, which are undergraduate students and postgraduate students. I do highly recommend you to actually create one profile for the one participant type, and then you can clone that. And when you clone it, you will get the same information, and then you can personalize the new one, so you don't have to make a lot of efforts every time you create a new attendee type. So for instance, you will have the same information for the badges and for the messages, which I will show you in a second. We can say that let's say it has a price of $100 for undergraduate students, and our attendee limit is let's say 600 undergraduate students. These attendee limits can be given because of the auditorium or because of the different spaces that you can have. You can select some workshops, and you can just make the general settings. It is very important to read every one of these options in order to see what are you searching. Whether, for instance, you're searching a VIP type of participant, you can only allow guest registration and not allow a public registration. But let's say that this would be the normal setting for most of the events. You can also require validation, which is also kind of very used. And then you can check the other options in order to make the event as concrete as you want and to make the type of participant. So once you save this, you will have a new attendee type created. So if we go back again here, you'll see you have participants and undergraduate students. This one was already created. I have a price 0 for this one. So let's say instead of participants, these are just some guests that I'm inviting, and I am not asking them to pay. So we have some guests and some undergraduate students. And then I can copy this one of undergraduate students into a new one. But before copying, we really have to set it up. So once we filled up the general information, we go to the registration form, and we can do a registration form where these are the questions for default. So first name, last name, email, company. You can hide them by clicking on edit and asking it not to be displayed. In the case of the email, you can't, because emails are the emails where we send the messages. But for instance, if you don't want company, you can just undisplay it and save it, and it won't appear. And then if you want to create new forms, you can go to the registration form new and create a different form. So let's say here we want to know which is the university you represent. And we have a text field. We can allow characters. We can allow, for example, in this case, let's say we only allow letters. And you can make it required when registering. And you can make it either displayed or not, depending on whether you want that information only for you or you actually want the people to answer it. So you save it, and it's going to appear here. And you can also drag it, so you can move it wherever you want. So maybe you want it to be after the email, and you can leave it there. This will also create tags that we will see in a minute, and that will be very useful for badges and messages. So then you can create, let's say, another text field, but let's say this is a drop-down list. So I want to give them different options. So let's say you want to know which is your year. In the United States, you have junior year, senior year, etc. So we are going to have freshman, sophomore, let's say junior, and senior. All right, and then we can require it for registering. And then this will allow them to just select, because in this case, for instance, the university, I might not know it, but the year they are going to be in one of these 4 years, so it's going to make it easier for them to fill it up. And then you can make a lot of different type of questions in these forms. So once you're done with this, you can go to badges and start creating different badges. So we have two basic type of badges, which are desktop badges. They are printed on paper type letter or A4, and thermal badges, which are printed in stickers that you can paste with already made badges. I will show you an example right now. So for instance, we come back here to the presentation, and you can see this would be an example of a normal badge in paper type badge. And you can fold this badge in 4 pieces and put it into a badge holder. And and you can also print the stickers. So in this case, you can print one sticker and paste it, as you can see it here, on a badge that was already made. I will also show you another example right now of this type of badge, and these ones are the ones used for thermal printers. So getting back again to our event, you can do a very good customization or personalization of it with the different tags. So for instance, if I want to know which is the university they represent, so let's say somebody's from Harvard, then you want to have the full name, the QR code, and that he comes representing Harvard. And maybe you also want to say what's the year. So let's say it is as a junior student from Harvard, so it will appear the name, the code, the university, and the year. And then you can of course change this. This is an HTML, so you can change the sizes, etc., and it will appear quite well for all your needs. And then you just go on and save, and you will have your badges. You can also plan up your messages. So we basically have the success registration message, which means you tell the attendee you have registered and it's okay, and we received your registration. And then the welcome email, which means you were actually accepted or validated, or you paid, so you're welcomed. It depends on the general settings you put. And then the rejection email, which means I'm sorry, but you were not accepted for any reasons. That depends on your event. And then here you also have an HTML where you can put the information, so you can really personalize it. You can say here hi, and then first name, and then write a message, and then say bye, and put the different tags here that you have from the registration form. You can add all of them on the different messages, and then once you're done with everything, you just go on and click on save. So here we just made a registration form, a badge, and the messages. So basically now when you configure this, the person that is attending to the event will receive his badge, will receive a message, and everything will be set up for them. So this just took us a few minutes. And then once you're done with all of this setting, you can clone this. So you can click on copy, and you will get a copy of undergraduate students. But let's say that this is going to be for postgraduate students. So we're going to take off the 100 and set, let's say it's now $150, and I accept only up to 300 postgraduate students. So I click on save. And let's say I don't, I no longer want the year because they don't have these type of years. So I can delete this, and I agree. And then I can create a new one. So I can maybe ask, what is your program? The postgraduate program. So I can here fill it up. What is your program? And then I can ask it as a text field and require it when registering, so that I have it mandatorily, and save it. And then I can like put it up if I want, and basically do it as I want it to appear, and I save. So we're done with the setting up of the registration type, and we just set up two different type of attendees, which are undergraduate students and postgraduate students. So now let's go to let's go to the program. So you go here to the program and you can set up some speakers. So you can create speakers really, really quick. You can just say the name of the speaker. So in this case, let's say I am going to be one of the speakers at the conference. So I am Santiago Castillo at Eventtia, and I am the customer success manager. I can put up a picture for myself. So I can have this picture on the profile, and I can put an email if I want, the personal email. I can put my Twitter account, my LinkedIn, etc. So that's going to be pretty easy. And then I can put the biography here. So I already have this written. This is the same biography that you have on my webinars webpage. So here I can put my biography. So it's here. All right. I can organize this text, and I will have already my text. So I come here and save, and I will create a new speaker. So now I am the speaker. And then I can go to activities and create a new activity, which would be very useful. So let's say this is the conference on Eventtia that Santiago will hold. I'm going to make it on April 26th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., let's say. So April 26th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So I'm going to make it for 1 hour. I'm going to be the speakers. Maybe it's on a different auditorium, so I have 200 persons there. And I can also allow registration for this workshop. So I can say that guests can register, and undergraduate students and also postgraduate. But let's say I want to ask for $10 for postgraduate students to register. So I can actually give a specific price to a specific attendee type. That's why attendee type creation is very, very important. And then the location, which be, let's say, conference room 1 in the Rockefeller Center. So I save this, and now I have an activity. I can also watch here the specific participants for my activity and export it to Excel. Because since they will be able to register, I might have different participants coming to different activities. So maybe you can export it to Excel if you want to have some lists someplace, or just if you want to have the general data. I can also copy activities. So I can copy here this activity, and let's say now this is not at 10 a.m. But let's say I'm doing the last activity, which is on 26th April at 5 p.m. and it goes from 5 to 6 p.m. So I have two activities here. I can say it's still Santiago. I can say it's still undergraduate students, postgraduate students, but then maybe in this one I want to ask for $20 for postgraduate and $10 for undergraduate, because this, let's say, instead of conference of Eventtia, is conference on customer success. So let's say this has another topic. So I can save it again, and I can go back to activities, and I will have two different activities: a conference on Eventtia and a conference on customer success. And I will be able to enter each activity and see the participants and export those participants. So this would be very, very useful in order to have a good program. I do recommend you to create the activities in a chronological order, because that way, the way that you put them here will appear actually in the web page that you will create. So we're done with both of these issues. And now we can schedule, let's say, the points of interest. So we already made the attendee types, we already made the program, and now we're going to points of interests. So we know that I'm at Rockefeller Center. Let's say that I want them to know where's Grand Central, because that is an important metro station for them to know. So I can say this is the metro station. I can come here and put the name. So this is the metro station. And then I can say here it's for transportation, so they can get there, and I can save it. And let's say I just want to put them where is the Central Park as well. Maybe they want to do some jogging before the event. So I come here and I put Central Park. Then I can tell them that, I'm sorry, I'm back here again. So let's take it again, Central Park. Sometimes it comes back, but it's not an issue. So again, Central Park. So I have it here. I have Central Park. And I am going to say that this is for tourism, and I'm going to save it. So now we have some other places that they will be able to see on their points of interest. So now we have created the attendee types, we have created the speakers and activities and points of interest. And now we're going to design an attractive website, which is the most impressive part of Eventtia, because once you've done these 3 or 4 steps, you can come here to the website module. So you come here, website, and you will be able to see different types of modules that we can offer for you, and you can organize them in the order that you want. So for instance, you have here a home. Let's say we want to put a free module, which basically gives you an HTML so you can use it. And we can also drag and drop. So we can put the free module up above home. Then we can put let's say we want to put after that the speakers. So you just drag in and drop it. Then we want to put the program. You drag in and drop it, as I told you. You can put also the location, which will show us the map. We can put the register, which is very important because that's where your people will register all of your attendees. And you can also put the contact here. We also have elements like countdown that you can put here. Let's say, so register, countdown, contact. And just be sure that you are in a correct order. So I have here free, home, speakers, program, location, register, countdown, contact. Sounds really good. Maybe I want to put countdown above it, so they see all the web page and then register at the end. I'm just going to put some images here on the free module so it appears quite good. So we can put here a background image that I'm going to use, which would be this background image. I just select it and put it there. I can take off this title if I need. And since the background image is big, I'm just going to put some spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces, let's say, and I save it. So now I have the image. Then I can go back again to website and see on home. And I can ask them, let's say, to not to display my background image, but I want to display the event logo, the event date, location, etc. And I can change the title if I want. In this case, I'm going to leave it as academic event, and I'm going to save. And once I'm done basically with these 2 modules, I will be able to see here a preview of my web page. So see, I have here my academic event. I have the different images, and I have the different modules that I already made. So in this case, I'm seeing that maybe I'm lacking a description here. So I will come here and put it. So I'm in home, and I already have a description here, for instance. I am going to copy and paste this from the description I already have. So yeah, I want to paste this. And I can also, as you know, change the font. So let's say I want it Arial and I want it on 12 points or on 14 points. However you've wanted, you can basically make whatever you want on these HTMLs. You can insert images, you can insert links, you can really make a lot of stuff. So we can save it. And then I can always do the preview here. So now you see that I have a text, I have the date, I have the place, I have the contact, I have my general image, I have my speakers with all their description, I have my program, I have my places, my locations. So as you can see here, I can see metro station, which is Grand Central, and the Central Park as we set it up. I have the countdown, so we have 22 hours, the register, and the contact. The last thing I would want to do, for instance, in this web page would be to change my color palette. So I'm going to change it, let's say, for the sunset color palette. You can select from many different color palettes. You can click on save. And then once you're done with everything, you can go ahead and publish. Publishing will be nice if you want to make some tests on the registration, because that way the registration will get active. So I click on publish. I want to publish this web page, and I will get this link. This would be the link for my actual web page. I can allow or disallow search engine indexing, which is Google or Bing or any other search engine. And this would be useful, for instance, if you want to make it still a bit private, even though it's already published. So I'm going to go here to the web page, and I will see that I changed the color palette and I have everything done. I have here a question from Ellen Kell. This is kind of urgent. She's asking if I will be sharing this after the meeting. Sure, I will be sharing it, and I will publish it in our YouTube channel from Eventtia. And we can schedule some call or anything that you want after this webinar. So thank you, Ellen, for your chat. You're very welcome. All right, so as you've seen here, we have the academic event, we have the registration button, we have the different options of the event. So we have the date, we have the place, and we have the contact form. We have the speaker, which is me, with my description. We have the program, we have the places, we have the content, the register, and the contact. And you've seen we made this really quick. We have been 20 minutes here, and we're already done with the web page, and we already published it. And if you want to actually make it like really launch the event, you just copy and paste it on any email or through our communication module, and people will be able to access this event and register. So this is pretty quick. And now I'm going to show you finally a way that you can actually the way that the actual attendee will see the registration process. So you can click here on register, you can click here on register, or you can just scroll down up till register, and you can select which is the validation that you want to do. So you can say, I'm an undergraduate student, a postgraduate student, or a guest. You can also see how many slots are left, and you can see the prices. So since this is $0, I'm going to register as a guest. So my first name is, as I told you, Santiago. My last name is Castillo. I am from Eventtia. And, sorry, this is my email. So I'm going to put my actual email and my company. My telephone, it's going to be something like this. And I can put my country. Let's say I'm in the United States, in New York as well. So I can go United States, New York. Let's search for New York here. It's actually here, and we have to select also New York City. So you as an administrator, as a user, will be able to see where am I coming from and all of my information. So we have it here, New York. And then I can register to the two conferences I want, and I click on next. So once I click on next, I will get the successful registration message. As you see here, hello Santiago, your registration has been successful, and these are your event details. And then you can contact them, you can see the map, you can see where it is, and you can also visit the event website, which is actually this one. And then that is what I will see as an attendee. And then once you validate me, so you can come here and go to attendees, registration attendees, and see, oh, here is Santiago. So he's now on the event. So I'm going to actually get an email here from Webinars Eventtia that says, hello, Santiago Castillo, your participation has been confirmed. So actually my registration message would be this one, and my welcome email would be this one. And this would be my welcome email. I can add it to my Google Calendar, and it says, hello, Santiago, it has been confirmed. These are your event details, and it will generate a QR code, which would be the QR code that I will use for attending to the event. And then if you have checking app, you can read it through your mobile phone, or you can just access any information that I have on this QR code. So this is how you see the actual welcome email. And then you as administrators, as users, will be able to access it from your back office and see who is Santiago. You are able to open it and see the email, all the information, the activities that he registered to. You can see and you can send him the registration smart link for payments. You can check him in. You can send him back again the welcome email, the confirmation email. You can also download a participant profile, which will actually create this form, a PDF form where you can see all his information. It will be very useful for you. And if you want to print the badge, you just click here on print, and you will be able to print the badge for the person. And as you can see here, I have the actual name of the person and the QR code, which is personalized and only valid for Santiago. And from here, you will be able to manage all of your different attendees. Finally, we are going to go back to the web page, and let me see. So we're back here to the web page, and we can go back to register, and we can make the registration process back again as attendees. So this is basically how Eventtia works. And this is the way that you can create an event in 30 minutes. Actually, we started at 10:05 in Central Time, and now it is 10:37. So actually, in 30 minutes, we created an event, and we saw how do you register as an attendee. So basically, this is a very quick process. You don't need a lot of experience to do it. You just need the basics, and the basics we're giving you on this actual webinar that we are having right now. So I'm very interested in knowing if you have any questions. I'm very interested in getting your insights about this presentation. We're going back here to our webinar presentation, badges and Q&A. So I'm open to any questions that you have, and I will be very happy to answer them. I'm seeing my chat and my Q&A part. So please set any questions that you want. And of course, as I told you, I would be very happy to answer them if you have any question. So I'll wait for you for some seconds. Well, if somebody's creating a questions while you create a questions, I want to launch another poll about the time that you need on the EMS. So I'm going to launch it right now. The poll is, in your opinion, what is the percentage of time that an EMS, event management software, can save you? I will answer this question right after you answer this poll. So you can vote now. Do you think it's 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, or 50%? How important would this be for an event, in your opinion? Okay, 30%, 50%. Let's see, I have still some people that are pending for the voting. Let's see. Okay, we have one or two. Please finish it up so we can finish the poll. I'm going to show you about it. All right, thank you for your voting, and I'm going to show you the results. As you can see here, the percentage of time that an EMS will save you. Some percentage, 40% of you think it's a 30%, 60% of you think it's a 50% of your time. So I will tell you, you are actually pretty close. You are half on 30, half on 50. So to be fair, it's actually about 40%. You can actually save yourself 40% of time by using an event management software. Because imagine in 30 minutes, we just created a web page, we just created a whole profile and a registration form. And after this 30 minutes, everything will flow. Imagine how much time do you need just to make one registration form, to download it, just to create a website, how much also money. We also think that it's around, we actually consider, and we have seen that it's around 35% of the reduction of money. So it's actually 40% reduction in time to have an EMS like Eventtia, and 35% of reduction in money. So this was the poll. Thank you very much. And now we do have many options, many questions here. So I will be happy to answer them. First of all, I have Elodie Orson. She asks, how did you add the social media buttons on the web page, on the website page? That's a very good question, because that is actually pretty interesting. As you can see here on my website, I have here a Twitter, a Facebook, a email, and a LinkedIn button. Actually, this will be created automatically once you publish. Um, then you can organize in the part of social media, which is here on the back office. We go to website. You have this module of social media where you can organize the actual links to your web page. So what's the difference? If these links here, I'm sorry, I'm going back here. Yeah, these links here, they are for me to share that I'm coming to this event. So let's say I click here on Facebook, and I will have to get into Facebook to log into Facebook, or I click on LinkedIn or on Twitter. I have to log in order to share that I'm attending the academic event. These are for that. And then if you put this part of social media, so this little button here, social media, if you drag and drop it, you will actually be able to publish it here. So you publish. You agree the publishing. You can publish as many times as you want, just for you to know, okay? And then you go back and you will see some buttons here on social media. Um, if you organize here your social media, so if you come here in the edit button, you will be able to put your different accounts for social media down here. So you can say I want Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And then you can add your company's Facebook, your company's Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, or maybe your event, because many events actually have that. So you cannot submit it because it cannot be empty, but you can put here for, let's say, for instance, one sec, let's say this is at Eventtia, so we can put this Twitter account at Eventtia. In Instagram we can have at Eventtia app, and we can save it and publish these different events. Basically, you have to take off. This is not letting me because I haven't filled up Twitter and Instagram. But see here, I have it. So I can go then to my web page, and I will be able to see the social media buttons um, once I publish. So let's go to preview, and you can see them here. Social media, see, for instance, Instagram, and you can open it up and you will go to Eventtia. So as I told you, these ones are for your actual social media, and these ones here are for sharing that you are coming to the event in the social media. Um, is it possible to add several Twitter accounts? Yes, you would have to write to us and we will be able to open up some other accounts. However, it does have to have a different setting. By general, you have one, but we can work it out. So thank you, Elodie, for your question. It is a very good question because nowadays many events have their own websites, have their own profiles in social media, and this might be a very important part of your event. So yes, for sure, we can do all of this, Elodie. So we have here another client, another customer that we already have, who's called Esteban, and he's asking me, is it possible to use my own domain of the website? Yes, that is possible. So you can come here on Eventtia and you can come to registration and go to advanced settings. And once you have made some override of the domain, which we can help you out with that through our help support, through our support team. You can write to us and we can actually make this URL, which is Connect Point Eventtia, become your own URL. So let's say it's academicevent1.com. So we can actually do it. You just have to write to us. And then once it's done, you can put this custom URL. And when the person receives the welcome message and clicks on visit your event website, it will get to not to Connect Eventtia, but to the new domain. So yes, Esteban, this is actually possible. All right. Another question we have here. What are the payment gateways Event is integrated with? So I already answered that in the start, but of course I will be able to show you back again this. So here you're seeing the general settings of Eventtia. So you go here again to the little pencil here, to the little pen, which is edit, and then you go to settings, and you can configure the different formats for that system for measuring time, dates, etc. You can also have Google Tag Managers, Analytics, and Currency, and then you can also configure your payment platform accounts. So you can use Stripe, you can use PayU, you can use Cashflow, and you can use PayPal. We know that by general, most of European users use Stripe, most of American users use PayPal, and in Latin America, for instance, PayU is also pretty used, and Cashflow is used in other parts of the world. So it really depends on what is more used in your country, and on which accounts do you have. And actually, all payments go through these platforms. So actually, Eventtia touches no money. All the money goes into the platform directly into your account, so you can be pretty sure that there's no risk in that part for your company. Um, and you say that do you charge a commission for attendee payments? No, Eventtia doesn't charge commissions for it. It is not something we do, and we actually kind of include it on the general EMS plan. So we actually are not like some ticketing software that actually charge for attendees, etc. No, that doesn't happen with Eventtia. You can see here in the dashboard, for instance, that now we have the attendees. So we have one registered attendee. When I go here to attendees, I see that there's one. So this is very useful. And then, for instance, when you're inside the event, you can also check him in. So you can click here and check in. And you will be able to see on the attendee profile that the person has paid, is printed, and checked in. So these profiles are very useful, and they're very well graphically seen. And then you can also search with advanced options for the different type of attendees, or for the different status payment, or the printed status, etc., etc. I have another question that says how the veto system works, which is basically the validation. So this question was made by Victoria. Thank you, Victoria, for this question. So basically, if you want to kind of determine whether you give the welcome or reject an attendee, you just on the attendee type select on edit on the type of attendee, and you ask for requiring validation after registration and save it. So what this will make is that when I register as a postgraduate student in this case, I will have two parts, one that says pending validation, and I can click to register him, to validate him, or to reject him, and then that person will get into confirmed. So that is the way it works actually. The video system, as you asked, Victoria. I have another question that says, how do you send other emails to your attendees? So, I mean, by other emails, I'm pretty sure you mean either other emails than the successful registration message and then the welcome email. So this is also very, very useful. You can go to the communications module and you can create a new communication, which is created by saying send a mass mail. You can actually open here and determine whether you want to send this communication to participants or to guests. And you can select an email account. So let's say I don't want to put webinars Eventtia, but Santiago, I can select it so that their answers come to my email and then not the email maybe of my colleague or somebody else. I can select if I wanted to send to undergraduate students, postgraduate students, guests, or all three. I can select the different workshops or the date of creation. I can, for instance, ask for the people that haven't paid to pay. So I can also select the payment status, for the check-in status, for the printed status, and then I can just add like a subject. And I also have all the tags here, which is very, very useful because you can also make it very personal. So you can actually send it to many people, but in the end they will get hi Santiago, hi Victoria, hi Elodie, hi whoever is receiving the email. And then you also have some other tags that are quite interesting here in the communications methods, such as the attendee registration summary, click here to pay button. So maybe I just want them to pay. So I say, I copy and paste this. So I say, click here to pay button. So I can do it like really, really quick. So I can say hi and then first name. So it will say, hi Esteban, or hi Guillaume. Please pay, click here to pay, and best. Um, and then I can say I want to send it to all undergraduate students, to all the postgraduate students that haven't paid. And I will send them the click here to pay button. So I save it. And I'm going to save it with webinars, Eventtia, and I will see this. I can send a test email, so I can send it to Santiago, for instance. And I will be able to send it. I will be able to edit it, to clone it, and to delete it. As you can see here, I just received the test email. The test email will take in this case, nobody hasn't paid, so it doesn't take the example, but it would take, let's say Santiago hasn't paid, so it would say, hi Santiago, and it will show the click here to pay button. And once you send it, they will all receive it correctly. So that is the way in which you use actually the communications module, which is very, very useful for you guys. I'm not sure if you have any more questions. I don't see more questions. I see that. So Esteban, we have your questions. Victoria, you have yours. Elodie, we have yours. Ellen, we have yours. So we're done with it. If you have any more questions, please ask them. And while you create your last questions, I just want to launch up 2 other polls before finishing. So I would like you to give me a really, really quick kind of satisfaction survey. So first of all, I would like to ask, how would you rate this webinar? This would not be shown, of course, and I will launch the poll right now. It is launched. So please answer, how would you rate this webinar, in order for us to know how are we doing it, and to know what can we get better at. We're always striving for our best successful projects, and webinars is one of those projects that we really, really care about. I still have some people missing, so please vote. I still have 1 person missing. Please vote. I will give you some more seconds in order for you to vote. All right. I'm waiting. Okay, thank you very much. So I'll end up this, and I will launch a final poll that says if you would recommend this webinar to a colleague. This webinar will be given in many, many situations during the different weeks. We want we have a project of increasing our number of webinars. So we basically invite you to be looking forward to the webinars, and maybe recommending it to your friends, in order for them to actually have some good training and have some direct training from Eventtia. This would save you some time. So if you have, for instance, other colleagues that don't really know how to use the Eventtia software, then you can invite them to these webinars, and this will save you some time on teaching them how to use it. So I'm going to finish up this poll. Thank you for voting. This was the last poll. I just wanted to say before we finish that we also have a help desk. You can click here on help desk, and it will open you a help desk in which you can see many different events, articles, and also tutorials, different videos from YouTube, etc. So you can get into, let's say, managing events and see the overview event modules. You can see here the different modules. You can also search for some tutorials. So we have here some videos, and that will be very useful. If you have any questions, you can also, this is very cool, you can also search by words. So let's say I want to know about networking, so I can search here networking, and the system will show me, so for instance, some different um, articles that have networking as keywords, as you can see. So you can really take advantage of this base. We are always uploading it, and then if you want also to see some changes in the different applications functionality that we add here on Eventtia. You can open the change log, which says what are the latest changes in Eventtia. We are constantly uploading different changes, which are improvements or new functionalities. And we really, really care about what you need as users and what is your feedback. And finally, if you don't find answers on the help desk, and if you have any specific issues, or if you think there's a bug or there's any problem in the actual platform, you can write us to help@eventtia.com. And we have a customer success team that is almost 24/7 there. We have people in Europe, we have people in America. So we're going to be there all the time, searching for answers to your questions and working with our engineers to make the platform work at its best performance. And so you can always write to us, and if you have any other doubts, or if you have or want to buy any additional services, such as the app module, such as the check-in module, such as the survey module, you can write to me at santiago@eventtia.com, and I will be happy to show you the different modules and to show you how that will work with your specific event. We also do some kind of consulting inside Eventtia's platform in order to use our functionalities the best way we can for your specific needs of your specific event. So being that, I'm not sure if you have any more questions. You can ask any last question on the chat or on the Q&A. Otherwise, I'm going to, if you want to say goodbye, I'm going to leave you here the different emails just so you can copy them. help@eventtia.com. This is our help desk. And my personal email is santiago@eventtia.com. So you're receiving all of these on your chat, so you can copy that and save it on your contacts. And just to close it up, we have created an event in less than 30 minutes. We have made some questions and some answers, and I hope that this will be useful for you to develop your new events. We will put this video up on YouTube on this week. We are on this moment also live if you want to invite for the next time some colleagues to go live. And finally, thank you very much for coming here. As I told you, we are here to help you, and we hope that you can manage your events the best way possible with Eventtia. I will stop sharing my screen, and seeing no more chats or questions, I am going to end this. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you very soon on a new webinar from Eventtia. Ciao, ciao, goodbye, au revoir, and till the next time.